This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
What's good, Commanders fans? I got my Elite Channel members on. A couple guys couldn't make it tonight. Brandon, shout out to him. He can't make it tonight. He'll be on the next one. Shout out to Oscar. He couldn't make it. And OG, he's probably on CP time, so we'll see if he makes it on tonight. But we got my guys. Shout out to Warpath and Kenny. Make sure you guys subscribe to them on YouTube. Kenny does great basketball content, a lot of one-on-one, playing 5-on-5, so make sure you guys check him out. And the Warpath, you guys already know he does Commanders content all the time, live streams every game, reactions, videos every single week. So make sure you guys subscribe to Warpath on YouTube. Two great content creators that we got on the show tonight. So we're just gonna go over some off-season predictions, and then we're gonna recap the roster. I know the roster came out last week, but we still want to go over the Jahan Dotson trade. We haven't talked since that happened. The Noah Brown signing, a couple moves, roster breakdowns. Basically, all Ron Rivera's picks have been released, except for about 2 or 3 at this point. So we'll recap that, and then get into this Buccaneers game. Man, the season is basically here, guys. We got a game on. There's a game on Thursday night, a game on Friday night in Brazil, and then we play at 4:00 on Sunday, America's game of the week. So, man, it's time to get excited. It's time to get excited. How you guys feeling?
Pretty good, man. Are we really the America's game of the week?
They just say that on Fox. So
it's the 4:00 games in the window. They know the America's game of the week is Cleveland and whatchamacallit, the team that shall not be named. Yeah, but I'm doing good. Can't complain.
Yes,
cool,
sir,
man.
sir.
Hype, bro.
I'm gonna shout out a couple people in the chat. Shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Shout out to Devin Kearney, and of course, this live stream is sponsored by BetUS. Shout out to BetUS. Make sure you guys check out BetUS. Devin, that's my guy, man. That's fam right there. He says HTTC. He's ready for the season. Tim Farrell says hi, gang. Kevin Hayes said the weather ain't gonna be pretty Sunday. Is it supposed to rain in Tampa? Let me actually pull that up on my weather app for the iPhone. I got to look that up too, because that's gonna definitely affect the game for sure. And oh yeah, I'm looking at it. It does actually look pretty bad. Sunday is gonna rain. There's a 45% chance of rain, 88 degrees. So we'll see, but that definitely will have a big factor on whether I take the over, under, or pass yards or anything like that. But that definitely will affect the game for sure. Devin says, I think we can cover the spread. I think so too. A lot of people have us +3. Calvin says, I think Washington will win by 3. And then Jay says, y'all saw Todd Bowles called us the Redskins twice. I didn't see that. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I know he gave us a couple good compliments for sure. And then John Williams says, let's get this WHTC. Heem, what's up, man? Let's go, Ed. I'm flying down to Tampa this week to go to the game. Yeah, I know the last time we played in Tampa, I want to say that was when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback for the Buccaneers. He threw 5 interceptions. We won that game 16-3 or 16-0, something like that. Josh Norman got an interception, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Alex Smith was the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
So that was – yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I said, oh, yeah, I was agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last time. But a lot of things have changed for sure. So it's going to be a tough bet. It's going to be a tough test. It's going to be a tough battle. So let's go over the 53-man roster, some things that we did like or did not like. So quarterback is pretty cut and dry. Jaden Daniels, of course, Marcus Mariota, Jeff Driscoll. Was there any surprise to you guys? Warpath, I'll let you go first.
No, I had all 3 of those guys making the roster. I thought that, they got Mariota in there to be the buddy system, but I thought Jeff Driscoll showed that he belonged in his performance. Now, he had a rough third game, but I think it's the Jets and the Dolphins. He proved that he belonged on this roster. And now with the rules with the third quarterback and everything, I think it kind of makes it a necessity to have him there. But, it didn't surprise me at all with the quarterbacks. I think that was right where that's right where I had him at. So, yeah, good on it. And, of course, I'm just glad to see Jaden Daniels made the roster.
How about you, Kenny?
I mean, yeah, Driscoll, he played himself onto the roster. We already knew that Mariota was going to make it. They brought him here to be the backup. Like, that was set in stone without being set in stone. So I feel like even if he didn't get injured or nicked up or whatever it was, his spot was already on lock. We was really searching for a number 3. I really like McSorley though. You know what I mean? He's kind of like fiery, but I get it. Driscoll played well. He played pretty good. He looked like he's competent and he can operate the offense. Actually, better than Mariota to me. He should go number 2 instead of be quarterback number 3. But you know how politics is.
Yeah, I didn't think Driscoll was gonna make. I thought they were only gonna keep 2 guys so they could keep more receivers or more tight ends or whatever. But I understand them keeping 3. Mariota was number 0 at one point. He actually changed his number to 18. Not that it really matters, but he changed his number. He barely played in the preseason, like you said, Kenny. But they already knew when they signed him. They brought him here to be a backup, to be a mentor to Jay Daniels. Driscoll did look good in preseason. Mariota barely played. He had a fumble in one of the 2 snaps that he did have. So I'm not gonna, say he had a bad preseason because he barely played. But I get it, him being the backup for sure. And he was a Heisman before, so he has some stories that he could tell Jaden and just some things that he could teach Jaden a little bit. I mean, he's not the best quarterback in the world. We know that. He's more of a running quarterback. And you got to run that Naval Academy system to really get the best out of Mariota. If you're not running the football as a quarterback, if you don't have him as a running quarterback, then he's not really going to do much for you out there. So we just hope that we don't have to see him out there. But Driscoll was pretty solid for the most part. And, I thought he could have been on the practice squad, but I think it was solid to see him as the 3rd guy. Didn't play well in that preseason. The last preseason game, but the first 2, he was fine. All right, so running backs was kind of not dicey, but, kind of predictable, kind of not here with B-Rob, Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols. Did you guys think Michael Wiley was going to make on the roster? Do you think they made a mistake? Even though he is on the practice squad, what did you guys think about him not making the roster?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that one. I thought that Wiley had played better than McNichols, but you know what? I say it like this. It's a benefit of the doubt. If they think that McNichols is going to be the better guy out of those 2, then okay, I'm going to go with you. We're going to see how this works. So, yeah, and I mean, I hope we have thunder and lightning with B-Rob and Eckler. I just hope Eckler can stay healthy, though.
Right. And then somebody did bring up Trace McSorley. I knew he wasn't going to make the roster. Same thing with Sam Hartman. Sam Harden put on injury reserve, if I'm not mistaken, and then McSorley didn't even make the practice squad. McSorley played pretty good in the last 2 games, though. I'll give him credit. Just not good enough to make the roster. We kind of know what he is. He does have that TikTok song, that rap song, local guy from Ashburn, Virginia, but just not good enough to really make the roster. But I do like Trace McSorley. I think he plays hard. He's a good running. He's a good dual threat quarterback. I've always liked McSorley coming out of Penn State and being a local Virginia legend. How about you, Kenny?
Yeah. So I also liked it, Wiley as well, but again, the other guy, I think he may have had more experience, and they had like this is another politic thing for real. I think Wiley, he brings more to the table, and I feel like he played better. The other guy that they picked up, McNichols, he wasn't bad though. He wasn't like trash, you know what I mean? But I just feel like Wiley was better. I'm glad he is on the practice squad because you never know. So I guess we'll go from there.
Right, and then Chris Rodriguez, he didn't make the roster, so he did get picked up on the practice squad as another Ron Rivera pick. Basically, an Eric Bieniemy endorsement there, because Eric Bieniemy was rumored or reported to really want Chris Rodriguez, and kind of redundant, same kind of style as B-Rob. So he didn't play bad either in the preseason, but I just think Wiley is the better running back. And then, like you guys brought up, McNichols, they had him with the Niners too, so it's kind of like you already knew he was going to make the roster there, just that connection. All right, so wide receiver is where it gets. I think this is probably the most controversial here. I guess we'll start off with the Jahan Dotson trade. We'll start off with their reaction to that, and then we'll get into the Noah Brown. But yeah, Martavis Bryant was released. They didn't even keep him on the practice squad. They didn't even want him back on the practice squad. That was a little surprising. But Warpath, we'll start with you. What was your thoughts on the 6 wide receivers that initially made it? It was Terry, Diami, Luke, Alameda, Jameson Crowder, and Byron Pringle.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be. I thought after they got rid of Jahan, that probably was going to be the wide receiver set outside of Byron Pringle. I was like, he just came out of nowhere and came back on the roster, and then he's back on the active roster. So, I thought that was intriguing. And I said this before training camp. I was telling people that I said, if you had told me before training camp that De'Ami Brown was going to be here and had a better chance of being here than Jahan Dotson, I would have called you a liar. With that being said, we're talking about the trade too, right? I don't want to go over that. Okay. The trade is what it is. I like I told you, I'm giving benefit of the doubt. This is the price of progress. For too long, we have coupled ourselves to got underperformers just because we like them or they showed us just a flash and they don't maintain a flash or a certain level of excellence. I think that was with Jahan Dotson. I like Jahan Dotson, but you know what? Like I said, price of progress. You got to go. If you aren't going to do the things with the ball out of your hands, like throw blocks and be physical, then there's not a place on this roster for you. Clearly, right? That's why you go out and get a Noah Brown to do that. And then the fact that the most diabolical thing was they traded to Philadelphia. To me, that's like Adam Peters saying, like, yeah, I know what it is, but I don't give a crap what you do. Yeah, we'll see you in November when we come up to Philadelphia. So, if you're going to make us pay, just show up. So I really didn't have I didn't have any problem with the trade. I'm just glad they got something for him, because if this was Rivera last year, we would have got nothing for him, boys. We would have walked into there because his fifth-year option comes up at the end of this offseason, right? So we probably would have been like, oh, we'll decline his fifth-year option. So he's on 1 year, and then he's gone. So right there, you capitalize on it, and you got as much as you could out of him. You know what? And you got another top 100 pick. So I say kudos to Adam Peters for getting something for something you didn't want.
How about you, Kenny?
Initially, I did not like that trade. I was upset. I'm not even gonna lie. I was pissed off. However, by them doing that, it was probably a reason why, right? And first of all, shout out to De'Ami Brown. He must took a step forward in a major way. And I could tell he had some pep in his step when he caught that ball, when he caught a few balls. He was catching everything. He had like 3 catches in the first 45 seconds. I said, oh, okay. De'Ami Brown again, number 2, looking like Antonio Brown. So I was happy to see him take a step forward. But then as I look at the roster and I'm just scanning it, they want certain type of football players. I'm looking at Luke McCaffrey. He got some size. I believe he like 6'2". De'Ami Brown, I don't think he's short either. Then they go out and sign Noah Brown. That guy, he gets open and he does not like to go down after the catch. You already know how Terry plays. So they looking for a certain type of build. You know what I mean? A certain type of player with a certain type of Pierre Garçon attitude. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to see exactly, what they trying to do.
Yeah, and when B Mitch went on his rant, B Mitch goes on a rant at least, every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or whatever rant. So he went on that rant and he said players are moping around, and I think he did come out and confirm it was Jahan. I didn't want to believe it was Jahan at first, but we always don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So if he was pounding around in bad body language, then I definitely understand the trade. I didn't like it at first because I still think he's a very talented player. I like how he came out his rookie year, had 2 touchdowns that first game. The Giants game, the spin move, he had the touchdown on Sunday Night Football. He had 7 touchdowns and only played in like 11 games. So he had a very promising rookie season. Now, I will say, of course, the trading back, we traded back. We got Sam Howell, we got B-Rob, we got Cole Turner, who got released. Now, John is traded. Sam Howell now is traded. We could have got Chris Olave or Kyle Hamilton, whoever. So you look in hindsight. And even at the time, a lot of people were like, we should have just took Chris Olave. But getting back to Jahan, I think he's a talented player. He did get outplayed by De'Ami Brown and Element Zacchaeus. You look in that first half against the Jets, he was playing with Sam Hartman and playing with Jeff Driscoll, and that was an eye opener there. And then he talked about his confidence against the Dolphins. So in the span of 2 weeks, it just went downhill very quickly for Jahan Dotson. I still think he's a talented guy. I do dislike that they traded him to the Eagles, but I get it. He's from Penn State, so they did right by him or whatever. They attached a 5th round pick. They got a 3rd round pick and a couple 7ths. But yeah, I just, me personally, my philosophy is you try to keep as many weapons as in Warpath's laughing.
Boy, just say you gonna march on Ashburn. Just God, God, bro, you.
Look, I fully understand the trade. I get it. I understand it. But my philosophy is always to keep talent. Always for a young quarterback, you keep as much talent as you can. But they bought in Noah Brown, which I trust is a good move. And I like Noah Brown. I like the move a lot. I love what he did with the Texans. I love that what he had, like 150 yards against the Buccaneers, 150 yards against the
Bengals too.
Yeah, he had a buck
teams that we're about to play. We're about to play the Bucs and we're about to play the Bengals. So we brought in the perfect guy. If he can do anything similar than what he did last year, that would be great. But to button up and put a nail in the coffin for Jahan Dotson here in DC, I hate the way it ended. I still think he's a talented guy. The drops. I think Bieniemy had a part in this setback, and we see how terrible Bieniemy's doing with UCLA right now. But I'm not going to make any excuses for Jahan. So I totally get the trade. They want guys that can block. Noah Brown is a guy that can do that. Diami's clearly doing it. Alameda's doing it. But I do want to see these guys. I want to see Diami's got to produce. I've gotten duped by him and tricked by him the last 2 years. So I'm going to just sit back and believe in Diami right now.
Yeah, Macy Gray with the pork chop sideburns. Every time. I might have to play that Macy Gray song every time he scores. Should I play it every time he scores or just every time he catches the ball? Because that's usually about the same amount of time. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, his career high in catches is 12. I think like 12 or 10 catches in the season. I mean, he's always
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And last year, Sam Howell's supposed to bring the best out of him. So we'll see what happens this year. Some more comments. Joseph Sayers says, "Yo, Ed got tickets to the Bengals Commanders Monday night game Monday night yesterday. So Jamar Chase, he's still in street clothes. So we'll see if he plays in that game or not. I don't know if he's going to hold out that long. That would be a little while for him to hold out. But no, that's awesome. You got tickets to that game. That's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a good test for us for sure. Going up against the Bengals. Football fan 771 says, "I'm just glad to see an increase in talent as opposed to the rowboat run disaster." Yeah, we're going to get into that too. I mean, all the picks that he's got have basically been axed by Adam Peters. All right, tight ends. Just let me know what you guys think about this one. I guess one surprise is Colson Yankoff. So Zach Ertz made the team, of course. John Bates, Ben Sinnott, and Warpath. What was your thoughts about the tight end room?
I was so glad that we got rid of Cole. I mean, I know he's on the practice squad, but the fact that Cole Turner had been sneaking, he'd been sneaking and hiding on here like he was Elian Gonzalez hiding from the U.S. government. And bro, like he needed to go. He had to go. The only time you ever heard Cole Turner in the preseason was when he made a catch, pass interference, offense. He was the only one getting flagged for OPI. And we held on, like we have jag-itis. That's what I call it. We suffer from jag-itis. Cole Turner is a jag. That's exactly what it is. And we were just kept on waiting on him, trying to wait on. I finally said, I was like a bad kid at Christmas. Santa ain't coming. So that's exactly what it was with Cole Turner. But I mean, Colton Yankoff, yeah, he was shocked. I think more of his special team prowess worked there, but Ben Sinnott, y'all. Chris Cooley said himself, the second coming of Cooley. I can't wait to see Ben Sinnott because we know with Ertz, it's not when, it's not if, it's when he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. I'm looking forward to when Ben Sinnott can step up and take the mound as that top tight end threat because I think we got a good one there, y'all.
Yeah, I think so too. The Jets game, he's carrying 3 or 4 people on his back. Getting that first
put the team on his back though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a guy right there. Cole Turner, he deserved to get released. I mean, he was awful in that Dolphins game. He was awful in the was not the Jets game. It was the last game we played. I don't know. I'm playing
the Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah, he was off on that game. He made the 25-yard catch, but it was way too late. He had a drop. He had 2 drops, and then he had a holding penalty. So it was like 3 plays back to back to back. One series he had 2 drops, and then the next series he had the holding. So yeah, he did everything in his power to be released. In the Dolphins game, he had a drop. He had a drop in practice. So yeah, it was time. It was time for Cole. How about you, Kenny?
Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry, Ed.
Yeah, just the tight ends. Colson Yankoff made the roster. What were your thoughts about them? Cole Turner got released. What were your thoughts about the tight ends? Any surprise?
Yeah. So yeah, Cole Turner. Let's start with him. Like Corey said, like every year he's find his way on the roster. I think what it is, we look at him and he's so tall and stuff like that. You be like, oh yeah, he could play. He could play. See, he looks like he could play. He's that guy that come to the gym with all the brands on and the jersey on. And like, oh yeah, I got him right there, the tall guy, but he missed the wide open layup. Yeah, bruh cannot catch at all. Cannot catch at all. You know what I mean? Wasn't separating unless he pushed off. So it was time for him to go. I do like Ben Sinnott. You know what I mean? I did watch a couple plays. I hope that he is Chris Cooley, if not better. The other guy, I've never even heard of him. I'm not going to lie. I've never even heard of him. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what he did. It must be some film where he blocking or something like that we don't see. You know what I mean? It's something that we don't see that didn't pop up on the TV that they probably seen. But yeah, I trust these guys. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, to put a bow on Cole Turner too and wrap him up. He did have some potential, man. Like last year in the preseason, he had a couple of good games against the Ravens. And then he was in Bieniemy's doghouse, and they got hurt his rookie year. He had a good training camp. So it was like every time he had a good preseason and something would happen, he would just be relegated to the bench. So, and once again, he was involved in that trade back where Sam Howell's no longer here, Cole Turner's no longer here, and Jahan Dotson is no longer here. The only person left right now is B-Rob, and that's it. He was a part of that trade back.
That's the craziest thing about that trade, though. Like we thought we had cashed in with that trade, and just look how it fell apart in 2 years, man. But it's like to Kenny's point about size. It's like, Ed, you played D3 ball. I've worked at a D2 school, and I've seen when you have 7-footers at that level, they're probably garbage. And that's what I feel like. If they're not playing at the D1 level, they're probably trash. They're probably and that's what Cole Turner was to me. Like he was that 7-foot guy that was playing at Union Bible Baptist College and somewhere in Illinois, and
ICDC.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like I mean, that's exactly what it was. So bro, God.
Yeah,
God,
so
it hurts me, man. It hurts me.
Yeah, he was brought back on the practice squad, and then also Martavis Bryant. I guess you guys weren't too invested in Martavis Bryant, but I did think he was going to make the roster, or at least the practice squad. He's not on the practice squad, but it is what it is on that. Football fan 771 says B. Mitch said Jahan got all mopey when they asked him to return punts. That is something I heard too, and that's a part of the body language too. So if he was doing that, returning punts, then yeah, it was definitely. Time. I do remember when Jahan was dropping passes and Ron Rivera was making him hold the kicks for Joey Sly last year. I do remember that last year too. So, but yeah. So now fire up the 2 live song with Diami scores. Calvin says, respect to Ed and the Commanders, Cardinals fan. Yeah, shout out to you, man. Thank you for watching, even though you're a Cardinals fan. And then Tim Farrell says, hopefully Noah Brown isn't the next Paul Richardson. Yeah, Paul Richardson, he had that one. He was here for what, 1 year, 1 or 2 years?
He had one catch. Let's get it correct. He had one catch against the Packers in the rain. That's what Paul Richardson had. It was like the curse of number 10 for a long time.
Yeah, he just couldn't get right. He had a bunch of injuries. He was here. Yeah, the first season, Paul Richardson was here. He played in 7 games, and then the second year he played in 10 games. 262 yards his first season here, and then 245. So yeah, he was a bust of a signing too. He wasn't that bad. He was a solid player, but I think Noah Brown's going to be better than that. I would think so. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's move on to. I guess we'll go to offensive line. Was pretty cut and dry there. Pretty normal for sure. Braden Daniels didn't make it. Ricky Stromberg just got released. For people who didn't hear that, he just got released from IR. And Brandon Coleman made it. Nick Allegretti, Tyler Biadasz, Sam Cosby, Andrew Wiley, Cornelius Lucas, Trent Scott, Michael Dieter, Chris Paul. And those are the guys that have made it. WordPress, what's your thoughts on the offensive line this season? What's your confidence level on the offensive line going into this year?
I have just as much confidence in this offensive line as I would like having a drink with Jim Jones, a drink of Kool-Aid with Jim Jones. I have no confidence in it whatsoever. These guys, I don't know what they're doing. The coaching staff. This is the biggest question. Like you bring Bobby Johnson in, who was the offensive line coach for the Giants, and they gave up more sacks than we did. We gave up 60. What they gave up like 85. So we bring in Allegretti, who we don't really know what he's going to be. I think Biadasz is going to be a good center. We starting Wiley. Now this could be because Sam Howell was dropping back 50, 60 times each game, and they didn't have a rhythm to go into. So, benefit of the doubt. Yeah, right. Benefit of the doubt again. I mean, I don't know of much they could do. And Brandon Coleman, rookie starting at left tackle against that Tampa Bay defense. Whoo! Heaven help him. I hope he is the truth. And we haven't seen him all preseason either. So, sometimes those reps are valuable for those young guys. So, we'll see. But there's a lot of question marks for this offensive line for sure.
Yeah, football fan says, don't drink the Kool-Aid, Warpath.
I won't, right. Man. I shoot you. No. Hell no. I'd rather go to a party with Diddy than trust the offensive line to protect me.
How about you, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm with Warpath. Like, I'm not sure. We got like 4 new starters on the line, and then three, and then a rookie left tackle. I'm not sure at all. That scares me, and cornerbacks scare me. So, I really don't know. It's a wild card. But what if they play well? What if they draw up a scheme where they moving these guys around so it can mask everything? What if B-Rob is just running like his hair on fire and Eckler? You know what I mean? Hopefully we got things to disguise this line, because I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, we all in the same boat. We're all in the same swimming pool. We just don't know it all.
Yeah, it's a lot of question marks. Brandon Coleman's a rookie, and we don't know if he's going to start because he didn't play in any preseason games. Dan Quinn said he was week to week, so he is ramping to come back. But, Cornelius Lucas, he probably is in line to start at this point because he actually played in some of the preseason games. And then Nick Allegretti is a new left guard for us, and he was more of a backup on the Chiefs. He did start in the Super Bowl game, but he was more of a backup. Didn't start the whole season for the Chiefs. And then Wiley is a big question mark. I mean, Wiley's been up and down. He's not a question. We kind of know who Wiley is. We know what he does. He's a starter level right tackle. But we see, he gets easily beat by spin moves. The Cardinals game, he struggled last year. There were a couple games you could just see where he got beat. The Dolphins game, he got beat really bad by a spin move. So he struggles against the spin move. And then Cosme's really good. Biadasz is a guy that I think we can really, really trust in. And then the backups is Trent Scott. And who else is a backup? So the depth is not great either. Michael Dieter is solid. And then we got, Trent Scott as a swing tackle. Chris Paul is still developing. They let go of Braden Daniels. They let go of Stromberg. So it's not the strongest unit of football, but I think Cliff Kingsbury can scheme it up. And then Jaden Daniels, with his mobility, will make guys better. He's going to make B-Rob better, the run game better, Eckler better, getting the ball out quick hitters, running that up-tempo offense. You're not going to be able to run it up-tempo a lot, but just getting the ball out quick hitters, just basically doing the opposite of what Eric Bieniemy did last year, I think should help the offensive line instead of dropping a young rookie quarterback 50 times a game like they did with Sam Howell last year. So I think that will help the offensive line out a lot as well. So not the most talented unit on paper, but I think, Cliff can scheme it up and Jaden will make these guys better. All right.
Yeah, they ain't the most talented unit in the sand. Bump the paperhead. Whew. They ain't.
No, I understand. So it's a work in progress. We'll see what Brandon Coleman does if he does play a lot this year. Hopefully he does bounce back, and we'll see if he starts. Because I personally I think Cornelius Lucas is going to start day one just because of Brandon Coleman being out. So we'll see what happens with that. But all right, we're going to transition to the defensive side of the ball. But before, I just want to give a quick shout out to BetUS. Make sure you guys sign up with BetUS. First time users, you get 125% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. So make sure you guys check that out on BetUS. This week, of course, we got the Buccaneers at 425, America's game of the week. Over under is 44. Money line for the Buccaneers is minus 170. For us is plus 146. We got the plus 3 minus 105. One prop that I really like is Mike Evans over receiving yards, just because of our corners, and it's Mike Evans. Mike Evans versus Emmanuel Forbes. I think that's just a mismatch. Him against Ben St. Juice, I think it's a mismatch as well. Mike Davis is a mismatch. I don't think we have anybody that can really match up with Michael Evans. So that's probably my favorite prop on BetUS for the week. And if you do want to take his money line, that a lot of people are taking his money line. I could definitely see the upset going in our favor for sure and getting the win in Tampa. We could take over that stadium for sure, like we always do. But like I said, I my favorite pick of the week, unfortunately, is Mike Evans getting the over on receiving yards for sure. If you want to take receptions over 4.5 receptions on BetUS too, that's something I would take a look at as well. And hopefully Joe Wood Jr. does not put Emmanuel Forbes on Mike Evans in the red zone like Jack Del Rio used to do last year. All right, so defense, real quick. Defensive line, John Allen, Deron Payne, Johnny Newton, Fedarian Mathis, John Ridgeway at defensive tackle. Well, John Ridgeway got traded, so he's gone now. And then Cleveland Farrell is on the roster, Dorrance Armstrong, Javonte John Baptiste, and Jamin Davis. What were you guys' thoughts about the defensive line and Jamin Davis making the roster?
Yeah, I think Jamin showed enough to make the roster, man. Especially in that Miami game. He's learning a new position. I think the biggest problem with Jamin was up here, and I think Jack had him thinking too much in that defense. Remember, they tried to put him at that Michael linebacker spot, and they tried to move him outside, and he was just doing too much thinking. Now it's just he's got one thing: set the edge or get after the quarterback. Right? That's the two things he got to do. B-line, like I done said before, it's Loudoun County. You and your Charger, 75 and a 35 right to the quarterback and knock him out. That's Jamin Davis's job this year. So I mean, I'm for it, and we know kind of like what y'all felt about Jahan, I feel about Jamin. He's talented, and I think with the right coaching, he can be a force on this team. I ain't saying he's gonna be elite, but I think he could be a key role player this year.
Yeah, I can see that. How about you, Kenny?
If they hit on that right there, man, because that's what we need. Honestly, we need a pass rusher. We traded Sweat and we traded Chase Young. So if we can get some type of pressure, speed off the edge, we'll be fine. It's going to help Emmanuel Forbes and the other guy as well, because they'll have to get the ball out quicker. You see what I'm saying? I'm worried about the other guys that they signed, Farrell and all that. They are not fast. Dante Fowler, they are not speed guys. So we need some type of speed. It's like, if we got thunder and lightning, we're gonna have to have speed and power. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So hopefully we hit on Jamin. I seen him he flashed one game where he hit the quarterback and made him fumble. I can't remember during the preseason.
Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins.
Yeah. I said, oh, we might have got one, man. And I would be so happy if we just hit on that right there, because that is very important. Left tackle is important. Quarterback is important. And that edge rusher is very important as well. Those 3 spots right there.
Yeah, we need that. We need a guy to step up. Dorrance Armstrong, I think he probably will be our most consistent pass rusher. And then, of course, Frankie Louvu is really good at getting to the quarterback. And, so we're going to use him and blitz him to get to the quarterback a lot. Cleveland Farrell, more of a run-stopping guy. Javonte John Baptiste, I think they kept him on the roster because they drafted him instead of keeping KJ Henry. I did see somebody comment about KJ Henry. So now I know KJ Henry was waived or released, and then the Bengals picked him up. A lot of people were upset about it. I wasn't happy about it myself, but of course I wasn't going crazy about it. What were you guys' thoughts about KJ Henry and him being released?
You go ahead, Kenny.
I mean, again, I'd actually like KJ Henry. I think he was playing well, but at the same time, I'm just going to trust the coaching staff. Maybe they seen something in practice that we didn't see. You know what I mean? So if they released him, it's probably a reason why. That's all I can think. It's got to be a reason why. Just like we didn't know De'Ami Brown was playing well until we seen him in the preseason and catching that when Jaden Daniels checked that screen route to a fly route or a slug or whatever it was. You know, I didn't expect De'Ami Brown to do that. So again, maybe it's something that the coach has seen to make them make that move, just like they made the Jahan Dotson move. I didn't know they was gonna get Noah Brown, but after watching Noah Brown, he's a dog, bro. I don't think he's a Paul Richardson. This guy does not like to go down after he catches the ball. He does not like to go down, and we need people like that. So again, let's just trust the coaching staff, and it's probably a reason why.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Paul Richardson wasn't a contact guy. He was more of a speed guy. He was like a poor man's Deshaun Jackson. That's what they were trying to do with Paul. Because I remember Deshaun left, and they were like, "Oh, we got to replace Deshaun." And Paul Richardson was supposed to be the Deshaun Jackson replacement. It was like a poor man's, or I'll be respectful to Paul, a common man of Deshaun Jackson, but it didn't work out with Paul Richardson.
Oh, he was poor, man. He wasn't know that. Oh gosh, yeah.
Right. And then Kenny, your boy John Ridgeway got traded, so we all understand why that happened. They traded him to clear up that spot for Noah Brown. John Ridgeway, salute to him. I hope it works out with the Saints. He'll always be remembered for the suplex that Texan game. We always need that one mean guy. We always need that one guy. You know, we don't want to be dirty, but sometimes you got to send a message. You know, that's one thing that John Bostic did well, was send a message from time to time when he knocked out Andy Dalton. So we always need that one player to go on there and knock somebody out. What are your thoughts on KJ Henry? And KJ Henry got picked up by the Bengals. Who asked that question? It was Football Fan 7771, who is definitely hurt over losing KJ Henry. Like I said, some people are very upset about it, but like I said, I wish KJ Henry the best. His dad did wear that Skins jersey, so shout out to KJ Henry's dad as well. Football Fan 7771 says, I hope losing DJ Henry or KJ Henry don't come back to bite us. So what were your thoughts on that, Warpath, and the whole deal?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was an indictment on that whole draft class, right? Because, you know, they felt that they could let him go out there and, you know, maybe they probably would have picked him back up on the practice squad. Yeah, he showed some flashes in his game. Remember, he had that one sack against, was it New England in the regular season? And they called it back on they said it was roughing the passer, which it wasn't. And
I remember that.
Yeah, so see, that's coming from a now Ravens fan right there. Don't pay attention.
Yeah, they trolling.
Yeah. Hawk is a Ravens fan now, just so y'all know.
Really?
Yeah, bro. He jumped ship. I was so disappointed in him. He's got purple feathers and everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm like Kenny, man. I'm trusting that they're gonna do the right thing. You know, and then with John Ridgeway, again, I said it with Jahan. You got something for him. You saw some value. I didn't see him making this roster. Really, I was shocked if he would have made this roster, because where was he at before he came to Washington? Oh, that's right. The Cowboys drafted him. Who's the defensive coordinator in Dallas? It was Dan Quinn. So you tell me 2 + 2 is 4, and yeah, so that's what I'm like, okay, like this doesn't come as a shock to me. You know, I know we need as Doc Walker says, we need to call 1-800 rent a jerk, because we need a jerk here. But I mean, I'm cool with it, man. I'm at peace with letting these guys go if they're not part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, that exactly. You hit the nail on the head with that one with Dan Quinn. Yeah, Dan Quinn, for whatever reason, every time he sees John Ridgeway, he cuts him. And John Ridgeway, I think he's a good player, but he's a good backup. You know, he's a rotational guy. good run stuff or whatnot, mean guy. Like I said, you need a guy like that on the roster. I think he will be okay with the Saints, but once again, he's gonna be a backup over there. We got a 6th-round pick, so we attached a 7th-round pick to John Ridgeway. Got a 6th-round pick in return, opened up a roster spot for Noah Brown. So I do think that was a really, really good move by Adam Peters there. Only question mark I have is, Johnny Newton is going to be ready week 1. What's going on with him? Because he has a soft tissue injury now. So is he going to be 100%? We'll see what happens with him. But if Johnny Newton is available, he's a super talented player. Somebody brought up F.A. Obata. F.A. Obata should be back midway through the season. So we'll see what happens with him as well. Tim Farrell thinks Cleveland Farrell is trash. He said he was trash, and Oakland struggles to spell his last name too. Yes, he has. I'm not going to call him a bust, but he hasn't lived up to his draft status for sure. San Fran was more of a run stopper, more of a vocal leader over there too. He actually did get more snaps than Chase Young at times. Somebody commented that too. It was him and Chase Young kind of sharing snaps in San Fran. So I think Cleveland Farrell will be a solid player here, but I'm not expecting Cleveland Farrell to go out there and get even 4 or 5 sacks. I think, you're going to get more of your sack production from like Luvu and Dante Fowler, Jamin, guys like that. So, but Cleveland Farrell, yeah, I think he's going to be a solid starter, and it's going to be a rotation of guys. It's not going to be like one guy out there dominating. But yeah, I'm not like, banging on the table for Cleveland Farrell out there either. So, shout out to Tim Farrell for sure. Randy Espiritu, he says, is Noah Brown number 2 wide receiver? If not, who is? I'll let you guys take this one.
I mean, wouldn't it be Diami right now? Just until he comes up to speed, I would think it'd be Diami at this point.
Yeah, probably Diami, and then Alameda at 3. Yeah. But Noah Brown should by midway through the season, we're hoping that Noah Brown would definitely take over that number 2 spot.
I mean, we'll see. It depends how the game plan go. Who they target the most, who gets the most target. I think it probably is going to be Diami though, because he could go deep. He can catch the intermediate ball. I mean, he has talent. I seen him climb the ladder and catch a ball way up high. So I don't know. We'll see. I think Diami though. Hopefully, that'll be nice. That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, he's come a long way, man. It's about time that he kind of wakes up in the league. I mean, career high 12 catches is not good, and 100-something yards. And Eric Bieniemy tried to help Diami out a couple of times. Like I remember on the goal line, he threw it his way, and he just slipped, so he just couldn't get out of his own way. So if he can wake up like he did in that Titans game where he had those 2 touchdowns, then that's the Diami we need to see out there. Diami, he's been putting the work in. He said he caught 500 footballs a day. He's always posting on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff like that. But I got to see it on the field. But I'm a big Diami fan for sure. All right. Linebacker. I think this one is pretty simple. Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, Dante Fowler. They listed him on there. Michael Walker, Dominique Hampton. They did sign Nick Bellore, who's going to be a special teams ace. I think the correspondent, they cut Ricky Stromberg, but I think to put Bellore on the roster, since he's a special teams ace, I think they'll put Yankoff on the practice squad. So we'll move through linebacker. I think everybody's pretty high on Louvu. Everybody's excited for Bobby Wagner. Safety, if there's any surprise to you guys, let me know. Jeremy Chin, Quan Martin, Jeremy Reese, Percy Butler, Tyler Owens, and Derek Forrest. I know everybody's excited about Tyler Owens. Kenny, what was your thoughts on the safeties? Did you think Derek Forrest was going to get released?
Wasn't he a Rivera guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was. He stayed hurt, but when he was in the game, he was solid. So it was shocking. But yeah, like I said, when he's healthy, I like Defoe. He plays well. He plays well. So yeah, I mean, kind of shocked just only because of the Rivera factor and what they've shown so far. They getting rid of everybody Rivera basically had except for B-Rob, for real. Thank God for B-Rob. That pick hit.
Yeah, he saved that trade. I mean, he's the only person left from that trade. And Fedarian Mathis made the roster. He did
Oh
make the
yeah.
roster.
Good.
I was a little surprised about that. I thought he was going to get released.
Jesus. Cheese and crackers, man. I remember I was at that game when we played Jacksonville his rookie year, and I was like, what's going on? Like, because it was like on the opposite end where he
One
got hurt
snap.
at, and it was like one snap. I said,
That's it.
is he winning the Sadiq Charles like Rookie of the Year award or something where you only play like 3 plays and that's it? And like, I mean, my gosh, I just, oof, they're disappointing, man, just disappointing.
Yeah, it's just how the second round picks have been. Now it's a new regime, it's a new day, so hopefully it's not Darius Geis and Ryan Anderson and Fedarian Mathis type of injury list and injury history, or just not even getting on the field type of stuff. So hopefully the new regime, the new picks, second rounders like Ben Sinnott and Mikey Sanders still should take over for sure. Like KJ said, Mikey Sanders still will have 2 fumble recoveries or at least 3 interceptions this year. I could definitely see that. I could see that for sure. All right. Somebody asked about John Allen. Michael Underwood says, do you guys think Jonathan Allen will be traded next season because his salary will be a big hit on the cap? And he would be looking for an extension next season. Warpath, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's all how he plays this year. You know, maybe because there's no guaranteed money left on that contract, right? Yeah. So possibly, but they've been talking about, people have been putting that rumor out for the last 2 years that John Allen's going to be traded. So I'll believe it when I see it right now, and I'll say I don't know, because I think it all depends on what he does this season. Now, if he eats and everything, I think he gets that extension, man, because you're going to have that cap space anyway. And you have one of your leaders that have been here through hell and high water, man. So at that point, why would you want to trade him in that respect? So yeah, I don't know at this point. If I was a betting man, I'd say no, he wouldn't get traded. He won't get traded.
How about you, Kenny?
Yeah. He'll probably be here. Like Corey said, depends on how he plays this year, and he should play well if they have a really good game plan. If that defense kind of like blossoms and takes a step forward and shocks people, yeah, they gotta pay him. I mean, I know they got Fedarian Mathis, and they just drafted Johnny Newton, but it's probably a camaraderie thing. If he plays well, because John Allen is a solid player, and he's just solid, and you want guys like that in the locker room. He's just pissed off, and he all about his business, like. That type of stuff rubs off on other guys. So it's just not just what he's doing on the field. It's the how he carries himself too. He's just a football player. His attitude, like McLaurin, their attitude, and they always produce on the field. I think he'll be fine, and they'll pay him.
Yeah, 100%. I think he always has his rant, his locker room rant or whatever, in the middle of the season. But hopefully it goes different this year. And then he did say on the radio he thought about being traded. Everybody ran with that, and then he went on it was like some show or whatever. It was like the radio show again, and they had a guest appearance or an appearance in front of fans and whatnot. He said he wants to stay. So we'll see how it goes this year. It just depends on the win-loss column for him, if how the season goes. But all right, we're going to get some over-unders here before we wrap up, and then just our keys to victory for the game on Sunday, America's game of the week at 4:25 against the Buccaneers on Fox. So we'll start off on I guess we'll start with Jaden Daniels here, man, for touchdown. Shout out to BetUS. Make sure you guys check out BetUS, man. Fast deposits, 125% sign up bonus for you guys, first time users, up to $2,000 for your first 3 deposits. Touchdowns for Jaden Daniels. How you guys feeling, man? Over under 17.5 touchdowns. How you feeling about this, Kenny?
Over.
Okay.
Over for sure. This is passing TDs, right? Correct.
Yeah, passing touchdowns.
Yeah, at least 25 or better. I'll go over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sam Howell had 20, at least 20 last year. So I think honestly, if Sam, and no disrespect to Sam, I think if Sam got 20, then Jaden Daniels should easily get 20 touchdowns, especially in the red zone. I think he's going to do a really good job in the red zone. That's where he's going to be really, really dangerous down in the red zone for sure. Whether it's running the ball or throwing the ball, but the pressure he's going to put on teams with his legs is going to make it easier for him to just dice people up in the red zone. Oh, and the Dolphins joined practice. I mean, even Dolphins beat reporters were going crazy about how good he was in the red zone. So I would definitely smash the over on 17 and a half touchdowns. I think he should at least get 20 passing touchdowns on the season. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I think it'll be over. I just kind of like what you said, Ed. I think he's going to be he's his arm and everything like that. I think 20. I think 20 touchdowns probably is the true over under for him right there. So yeah, give me the over.
Mm. Yeah, and Taylor Heineke, he threw 20 touchdowns in 2021. So I think this is a pretty low line for Jaden Daniels here.
Are you comparing him to the GOAT, Ed? You should be ashamed of yourself. Not the GOAT, Taylor Heineke. How dare you? That's blasphemy.
Sabah gonna get you.
Yeah. I love Taylor. Let me tell you about Taylor. I swear,
Lord.
Taylor came to me in my dream one time. He said, "I'll save this team," and he won the Super Bowl. He threw 4 interceptions and was sacked 8 times, fumbled the ball, and we had less points than other guys, but we still won the Super Bowl.
That's her.
Yeah, he just got traded for a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's talk about interceptions here. Over under 11 and a half.
I would say under. That's his specialty right there, taking care of the ball. Even when he was in the preseason, when they got pressure on him, he threw it where only the receiver could get it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would definitely go under. Maybe not 2 under, like 9 picks, if that, because they're gonna run too. They're gonna run a lot. They're gonna run a lot. They're gonna do a lot of quick stuff. You know how Kingsbury is. Get the ball out your hands real quick. Hurry up offense. So you got to go under.
How about you, Warpath?
I'm going to go over. I think rookie year. I think he'll throw some picks, and I think there'll be opportunity. Especially, I think this offense will throw more than we think they're going to throw, but I think they're going to run a lot more than they did last year. Like you only have to run the ball 11 times to actually run more than they did last year. So, I think it'll be over.
Yeah. So just looking at the Cliff Kingsbury offense, not comparing him to Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's rookie year, he threw 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. So that is barely over. Like I said, I'm not comparing, but I'm just saying that he threw 12. So that's just something to look at. Both mobile quarterbacks and a Cliff Kingsbury offense. So I don't think he's going to throw over, but if he does, then it's kind of like, okay, you look at that and, maybe like make some kind of weird connection type of sense right there. But I would take the under on 11.5 because he just doesn't turn the ball over. That's what he was known for in college, was not turning the ball over. So I think he's going to protect the football a lot. And running the football is going to help him out a lot, where he won't be throwing the ball in harm's way and just dropping back a lot, just like Sam did last year. I don't think he's going to be dropping back much. All right. B-Rob, 270 and a half receiving yards and 4.5 rush touchdowns. How do you feel about this, Kenny?
Receiving yards. That is fair, but he's going to have more rushing TDs than 4. The receiving yards might be accurate, but the rushing TDs, he's going to have more than 4.5 rushing touchdowns.
Okay. Yeah, I see that too. We'll see that. How about you, Warpath?
I think a push on the receiving yards, and I think he'll have more rushing touchdowns.
Okay. And then last one, Terry. This one's pretty easy. How you guys feeling about Terry's numbers? 900.5 receiving yards or 4.5?
Over both.
Or on both. I like it.
Yeah, he's got 1,000 every year with Home Depot quarterbacks.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm over on both of those.
Yeah, he's favorite guys like Gary Gilbert and
Taylor Heineke and Taylor
right.
Heineke and Taylor
Joe
Heineke.
Schmo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Heineke, Kyle Allen, rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins,
Willie Beeman.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did he play? No, I don't think he played with Colt McCoy. He played with Case Keenum.
Yeah, they played Colt McCoy.
He played with
Remember
Colt
he
McCoy.
started
Wow.
against the Patriots in that
Yep.
against the Patriots in 2019. That was his only appearance of the season.
That is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, that is wild to think.
He had God, he's had some terrible, horrible, terrible quarterbacks, man. I think they should just put Tress Wade behind center.
Yeah, they could do a fake punt or something like this
Yeah.
this year. They should try it, especially with Larry Izzo, since he's such a great special teams coach. All right, let's get to keys to victory for the game. So what are you guys' thoughts on this weekend against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? How you guys feeling on that? What's some matchups that you guys like? What's some matchups that you don't like? And if you had 3 keys to victory, how you guys feeling? And we'll do a score prediction as well. We'll start with you, Kenny.
Establish the run no matter what. Get those guys tired on defense. Once you establish the run, start hitting them with play actions. Audibles, hurry up offense. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to wear down the Vita Veas and the other guys. Don't be afraid to make adjustments if Mike Evans started cooking Emmanuel Forbes. Do not just leave that man out there on the island. And then we should be fine if we do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The tough part is Chris Godwin's a dog too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough, but I just wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't leave him on Mike Evans by himself like with AJ Brown. I don't think that's wise. It's gonna be a long day if they do that, and I wouldn't sleep on Baker. Like a lot of people keep saying Baker's trash. Baker's actually a decent quarterback. He had a good year last year. A couple of years with the Browns were pretty bad. It was pretty awful where he was getting run out of the league, but he had a good year. I respect Baker Mayfield. I think we got to respect him on Sunday for sure. How about you, Warpath?
Yeah, I like I think establishing the run is going to be key for us. So I think it's especially if it's going to be in the rain and if it's going to be sloppy, depending on how hard it does rain, right? So you want to establish power football out there, and you don't want to put your quarterback in any bad situations. I think for like on the defensive side of the ball, I think you got to keep everything in front of you, right? And you got to be fast and you got to be physical. Joe Witt's been talking about that all off season, and so is Dan Quinn. So I want to see that. It's not 11 starters. They said they got about 17 guys that they want to go in there that they can plug and play and do different things. So I want to see what these cats are all about and make a day miserable for Baker Mayfield out there in Tampa Bay. So yeah, that's why I think keep everything in front of you defensively, but I think establishing the run, like Kenny said, on offense, I think that's going to be key, and utilize that play action, man.
Yeah, score prediction real quick. I know Kenny's got to roll out. We'll probably wrap it up. Kenny, what's your score prediction for the game and who you got winning?
I like us 24-21.
Okay,
Upset.
I like it. Cage, your game winning field goal?
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I feel like we go into the fourth quarter with a lead, and then Mikey gets a pick to seal the game.
I like that. I like that a lot. How about you, Warpath?
Let's go 24-20 us.
Okay. I hate to be the Russian judge here.
Oh Lord.
I hate it. I guess for I got Oscar, I got to be the Russian judge. I think we lose, but I got us win. I got us beating the Giants. That's what I will say. I don't think we start the season off 0-2. I just think it's going to be tough to go into Tampa and get a dub. Even though I think it's a close matchup. I really do. I think it's a close matchup, but I think it comes down to the secondary at the end of the day. The weather's going to be bad. We got to stop the run. Rashad White is a good running back. They got a talented roster. I like the Buccaneers team. I like their roster with Chris Godwin, but we got to get stops. It's going to come down to getting stops at the end of the day. We got to get stops. We got to convert in the red zone. It's going to be huge getting stops in the red zone. Cade York, can we trust him yet? I'm a little iffy on him too, especially in the rain. He hasn't been tested yet in the preseason, but I think Jaden's going to have a good game. I think he's going to have a good game. I think they got to use his legs out there too. B-Rob, Eckler, running the football, making it easy for him, spreading the wealth to Terry, and somebody else got to step up. Like Noah Brown's got to step up. De'Ami's got to step up. A lot of guys got to step up. We got to be able to protect them. I know Kenny brought up Vita Vea. That's going to be huge. Tyler Biadasz. That's a big matchup right there. And just be ready for that Todd Bowles blitz. As a rookie quarterback, he's going to send the kitchen sink at Jaden. So this is going to be an awesome first game test for Jaden. I think he's going to have a good game, but I think it's going to be a close loss. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, about 20-17, around that. So, but all right, you guys, man, make sure you guys subscribe to Warpath, subscribe to Kenny, check these guys out, man. A couple guys couldn't make it, but we will be back sometime either later this month or next month. Just recapping how the games went, quarter check-in for sure, and we'll see the win-loss column. I'll bring up the win-loss predictions that we had before the season and see how we have done probably after the first 4 games of the season. But make sure you guys subscribe to both these guys. These are great content creators, Warpath and Kenny. Awesome content creators. I'll put their link
Appreciate it.
And their Instagram as well. And as always, of course, make sure you guys check out BetUS. And make sure you guys sign up for BetUS, 125% sign-on bonus up to $2,000 for your first 3 deposits. Once again, Hell to Commanders. As always, peace.